and gave W2D2 kills. There was a whole Adakan debacle. So, as much as obviously they're still favored, they just had to convince a game one. I don't think it's a sort of out of any realms realistic. Like, it's not like Genji beating Bro. Like, that's like, insanity. This is, you know, this could happen.
Yeah, and look at the picks from the last series. Like, as far as iconic champions for these players, you've got like Zeus' Cassante. He's very good at that one. Peanut was basically undefeated forever on Maokai. It's Yone for Zeka. It's Zaya for Viper.
Strat.
So like,
give them the OP.
Yeah,
champions.
give them all their OP champions, and then they just don't have them for the rest of the series.
Genius.
And doing it when they all have them at the same time means you get rid of all of them, because you can't just lose 5 times in a row as you're getting rid of them, you know?
Exactly. You know, maybe we're onto something. Yeah, Skarner, unsurprisingly, going to be banned again. Zyra taken away, and the Jace. So, 2 picks. I feel like the only link between them is you often have a lot of pressure with them. Fast player speed on the Zyra. Jace, a lot of pressure. Yeah, we're just getting like the standard bans coming out from HLE. With the Questa coming through again. I will remind you that both Varus and Ashe were banned in the last draft, and they've been left available. Rumble also was denied from Kingen because they had a pop-up performance last series. So you're limited in terms of what you can get rid of from here.
Yeah, and if it is like a Varus or an Ashe, I think that makes sense. For Nongshim, yeah, you force out the Varus ban, because otherwise you get Rumble, right? And they now have to ban Rumble, and then you get Varus. You're kind of happy about that one as well.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where maybe the call for HLE is just don't ban one of these massive OPs. And they opt against that. They banned the Varus. So now it gives a lot of freedom for Nongshim to get a powerful first pick. The thing is, with being on red side, there's a lot of OPs open. Blue side can only take 1 at first.
Yeah.
They will take that Rumble for Kingen. Last time he played it, absolutely popped off.
How many of the really powerful picks are there available, though? Like, what are we going to lock away that's going to say checkmate to this situation? I feel like we are running low as far as those super overpowered champions are concerned.
Yeah, maybe like
Sejuani?
I was thinking Sejuani, definitely one Peanut does enjoy, but actually going towards the Xin Zhao here, which, you know, I mean, it's been serviceable. We've had some decent performances, but it's not been like oh, this pick is super broken sort of thing. I think Nongshim definitely feeling fine right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind like something brawly. I think a Galio sort of fits in with that one, especially if they can freely flex that one around. Of course, we've seen Galio work on the top side of the map so far this season, but also in the mid lane.
It's a really dually mid jungle, but also, you know, when we first saw Galio come into the top lane, it was specifically as a counter to Rumble.
That's what I was thinking, yeah. And at Zeus, he can kind of play everything. We know that this guy really does like to branch out as far as his champion pool. And Gideon going to take that Sejuani. Oh no, Nongshim have decided to lose. That's a bit weird.
Oh no. So it looks like it is going to be the Galio top. And for those who aren't familiar, Corki is currently
0-10.
0-10 on the LCK. 0 wins, 10 losses.
Zeka is going to choose the thing that he feels like playing. I think the Smolder would have been okay too, but instead it is going to be the Azir. Fair bit of magic damage, meaning that Viper can freely pick something with heavy AD towards that bottom side of the map. Doesn't have to worry about Ziggs and Kaisers being banned away.
Yeah.
Of course, Kaiser is already banned because of Iron Fearless.
The benefit as well is when you're on red side in this situation, you can have counter pick support, and you get first choice of AD carries. So it's kind of a double whammy in this situation. If you target one of the pools, you can get first choice, and then counter whatever else is left open. They do go for the Leona ban initially, though, denying that once again from the hands.
Okay, Ezreal going to be taken away from Viper. I think that's a good one. I even think that Caitlyn kind of works in a composition like this. Having the extra range would be nice. As Misfortune taken away from Jiu, wanting to make sure that they don't have that full mega wombo with the equalizer bullet time if someone does get stunned up by Gideon or some such.
Yeah, I mean, some of the AD carries left open are, you know, like Jinx, Jhin, you know, some of the things that we've seen a little bit. Definitely getting down the sort of list, like Zeri. I'm not sure you need to focus that much on AD carry bans at this point, unless you'd be scared of like a... There's a lot of peel for like a Jinx, so that can make sense if you go with that one.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of teams, I'd be like, just pick the AD carry here, get choice from the pool left, and then get counter pick. But when you have Delight, I feel like Delight is just confident to pick engage supports in or whatever, so you can just pick like Rel here and be happy.
Yeah, I think Rel would actually be fine. I was thinking Viper would go back to his Caitlyn. Feels like something that could certainly work out, but no.
It's just... You know, those are the decisions. Do we want to give Viper a choice to give him the Caitlyn, or do we just want to stick Delight on an engaged pick he's good with? And maybe the thought process was, guys, Rel and Rakan are open.
Yeah, unless they're going to play Rel Rakan bottom lane, we're going to be fine.
I'm sure that's what Corki needed to get his first win.
Oh, we are. Okay, we're Lucian Namiing.
It has been a long time since we've seen Lucian Nami in the bot lane. And ultimately...
Oh, wait, does this mean that we get Kate Lux? Enchanter v Enchanter?
Will Delight do it? Will he break the mold?
I feel like he'd Bard first, but nah, he's going to Lux it. There we go.
Okay, so... One of the things here is I think when Nongshim locked in the Lucian Nami, you went into that like, we need to lane swap. Because already, you know, playing the Rumble and the Galio's a fine matchup there, although Galio is pretty fine in lane swaps, just tanking a tower. But like, Lucian Nami level 1 into Kate Lux is painful. And really, Lucian Nami, like, it's weaker now than it was, but it's very much a lane where like the mid-game spike was like the driving force.
Yeah.
And Caitlyn Lux is like, well, our mid-game kind of sucks if we're behind, but we'll crush you in lane.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of the lane dynamic that Nongshim want to avoid. And so I think heavy research needs to be done level 1 into finding out where we're going to see HLE send those laners.
Yeah, I think that it's going to have to be all about the scouting crews heading through, see where these champions are going to be going. More absolutely adorable raccoons. Love it when Nongshim's here.
None of them drawn with bear options, though, you know?
Yeah.
All with...
Oh, there's the guy from before, Zeus, just getting the head pats. Absolutely adorable.
You know, I'd be so thrown if you in Zeus' position, you just saw that.
Yeah.
Like, it would just be so distracting.
Yeah, like, hang on a second. And it just said "book book" all around him. Don't know what that means, but it was very cute. This is also very cute. Our first Lucian Nami towards the bottom side of the map. Just don't know whether it's actually going to work because HLE's composition looks really scary to deal with, especially as you get later on. Let's see whether the Noodles can find some magic. All right. I love that the Nongshim fans are so loud here in Lore Park. It's absolutely fantastic. Good to see, even though things weren't as good in game number 1, they are still keeping things up. The enthusiasm is there. I'll see whether that means we'll get a game 3.
So this is interesting, is that Zeus has gone Aftershock, which says to me he's like really expecting a potential like early swap. I'll give it a lot of help if you're getting dived to the tower, but it looks like they're just going normal lanes.
Yeah, it looks like Ju and Lehens are kind of okay with it. See whether that is something that will be rewarded or whether this is folly. I'm leaning towards the folly side of it just because I feel like them being able to just consistently hit you from way further away is going to be an advantage.
Yeah, yeah. It's also the first strike Lucian, which does proc there, but generally first strike's really good mid-game.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
We've made the peace with Lehens.
Generally first strike is really good in the mid-game because you have enough damage to get like substantial gold from it, but like Caitlyn and Lux are notoriously good at proccing it. That's nearly heal.
Yeah, early barrier as well from Viper.
And now it's cleanse versus heal, so I feel like HLE in the advantage in sort of combat power left available. Like obviously you can defensively get out of CC, but if you go for an all-in, the extra healing on 2 targets will have a lot of value.
Yeah, it feels like the majority of the CC is going to be death for these 2 on the side of HLE. Yeah. Seeing now this wave is getting stacked up, level 2 going to be gained, so some traps able to be laid or a net available to be used in order to get out of this. See what Viper has actually opted into and if he has actually taken anything at all. As another Peacemaker comes in. Oh, man. Light Binding being included is a dangerous one as the heal just being used to keep the tempo up, keep them in the lane as much as they can. As yeah, here's the 0 and 10 Corki. It's our worst win rate here in the LCK by a very considerable margin.
And I think what's telling as well is the fact that like we have a loss from aiming and D+ have been doing generally very well. It's both groups, you know, even though obviously Group Elder's been winning a lot, they've got lost. Zeka himself has a loss.
And it's a loss for us too, because it's Corki versus Azir, which doesn't make us very excited.
Yeah. I was going to say it'd be a win for us if people stopped playing Corki because he's losing so much, but apparently not. Not to be deterred. Fisher's like, I can fix it. I can fix the win rate.
Yeah, I don't know about it. I'm not sure whether I'm sold, but we'll see if the outcome of this game is going to give us some more confidence.
Yeah, and Q has already had to back, and it looks like they're going to lose a plate. So this is kind of what I was talking about, and you know what? I don't think this is a surprise to anyone.
No.
Apart from apparently Nongshim, who did end up... Maybe, I mean, to be fair, maybe it's one of these situations where they like...
Maybe they figured that they weren't able to get vision, so they just see whether HLE was going to call their bluff by double calling the bluff. Yeah, maybe just going bot.
Maybe it's like in rock, paper, scissors, where you're like, oh, if I go rock, then they'll go paper. But what if they think I'm going to go paper, so they'll go scissors?
Yeah.
But then if they go scissors, it'd be right to go rock, so I'll go rock again, and then you just lose.
You just completely overthink it.
You just overthink it, you outplay yourselves.
Yeah.
Maybe that is what went on.
It might have been the case, but maybe it was better to get the information and then just opt out, or maybe like just go first back and then go for a bit of a reset. But, you know, we don't know how it all went down. And HLE, ooh, okay, not going to quite find that one as the Lucent Singularity goes somewhat wide.
And already a 400 gold lead between 80 carries.
Yeah.
Strong start.
One plate already going over, which is pretty nutty.
That's going to come through, so we'll be able to spend a little bit here. Oh, you actually saw the ping come out in the brush from Nongshim, so nearly had a chance to stop Viper, but they don't. And it's the straight Dirk. Seen a lot of collector first Caitlyn's, which in terms of putting the pressure on in lane, very extreme.
Yeah, and it feels like, it rounds out the power spike quite nicely. I believe this is what he went for last time around as well. Wasn't quite as successful in that game.
Yeah, I think
Caitlyn.
It results in a power spread where it takes a bit longer to get going, but you don't fall off as quickly.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like as much of a trough that you're playing in.
Yeah, I think the trough ends up coming a bit later if you do end up falling behind, but if you're ahead, you're chilling.
Oh, Zeus and Kingen just hanging out here on this top side of the map. Zeus looking for these taunts, not quite finding them. And Kingen as well, not really doing too much other than throwing some harpoons around and trying to convince the Gargoyle to leave the lane. He is going to do so by the looks of things. Lahen's roaming around, not necessarily on one of his more notable roaming champions, but going to be spending some time with Gideon. See whether they can get any early kills, because that first blood helped them get towards beats last time. So far, 5.5 minutes, no one to go down just yet. I don't know whether this is the time we're going to get our first Ruinous Artican. That's all I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is not going to happen on this patch at all.
Yeah.
I think it needs some serious changes. We've tried, you know, some teams more than others, but it just doesn't seem like it's plausible. And it's funny because every time, you know, I'll have a day of LCK, it'll be just like completely Voracious only, no Ruinous. I'll go home, I'll play some solo queue, Ruinous every game, every single game, every single one. It's so funny. It's just it's literally like they have the professional play Artican and the solo queue Artican.
Yeah, maybe it's just a different game. As Peanut going to be able to grab one of the grubs, that is going to deny a feat of strength.
That's unfortunate because Gideon actually saved the smite. So he had a smite to contest there and unfortunately mistimed against Peanut. He could have gotten all three there if his smite was better, but Peanut redeemed himself a little bit for last game.
You can see Zeka there as well, just trying to force out Fisher's flash. It's actually very cute. Doesn't actually press his ultimate button, so he can go for that one again if he'd like to. Peanut just going to walk towards Gideon. Has level 6, Gideon does not. And that means that Peanut is going to have full control over this side of the jungle.
Yeah, able to force him out. Both of them have smite again after the little grub battle they had, so Peanut... He doesn't use smite though there, so he can actually steal this as well.
Yeah, I think knows that Gideon is there. I'd flash for a Gromp, but I don't know whether it's a good idea. So Peanut's not going to do that.
I've flashed for less before.
Absolutely. I mean, I flash out of Fountain just to get onto the map faster.
And unlock Hex Flash?
Absolutely.
Zeka
get it on cooldown, otherwise you're not utilizing it. Zeka is doing battle with Fisher.
He's really testing
Fisher.
He's like, I'll do it.
And the more times you do it, the more you're going to lure them into a false sense of security, you know? Like,
100%.
He won't do it, but maybe he will. Cannons going down on both sides. I'm pretty sure both of them got those, so that's certainly good news. Delight going to secure that one for Viper, who's held on to a 22 CS lead. Something about that. That's going to be softened a little. Definitely wanting to go back home, as Lahen's probably not wanting to tank that, but Ebb and Flow should be able to help him get that health bar back up.
No mana, and Lahen's pretty low mana, so you know, potential to put some pressure on, but it's good timing that Gideon is actually hanging around. There is a ward that would spot him out if he moved, so you can tell the HLE want to apply more pressure in this bot lane 2v2, but kind of cautiously respecting the possibility of a gank for the threats. But now they end up getting another plate in the bag.
Oh dear. Now the Singularity goes down there as well, and there is the extra auto attack to grab themselves the plate.
And, you know, obviously, like, level 1's pretty strong for this combo, but I feel like, you know, when you hit level 5...
Oh, Equalizer. Zay's going to have to flash out of that one.
Yeah,
just a lot of respect shown.
Can do a lot of work. Even despite his Carl, Zay's not tanky enough. Yeah, I feel like once you sort of get a few points in Q or for Lux in her E, the damage threat feels a lot more significant. You know, you get like an AD item behind Caitlyn, and suddenly if you get hit by like a Peacemaker without it hitting any targets before, it really chunks. So yeah, things get a little bit worse before they get better for Jiwoo and the Hens.
Ooh, nice bubble. Will connect here. Tidal Wave to follow up as Delight comes on over, gives a bit of a shield here to Peanut, who does have the Crescent Guard up and available. Light Binding, the full combo. Empress Divide needs to be flashed there from Zeka, but now he's in an awkward position. Peanut coming back in again because he identifies Gideon has no damage. And in fact, no one does. And in fact, no one's going to die. And we are just going to use some summoner spells and wander down the river.
Very strange passage of play. You know, Gideon nearly basically solo killing Peanut, and then Zeka tries to get a shuffle on Fisher. This time he does get away from it. A lot of back and forth, a lot of summoners used across the board. No deaths, no first blood.
Oh, another bubble will connect here, but I think they realize Peanut coming in is not going to be an option. So it's another case of, you know, the Caitlyn not really finding as large of a suffocation lead that she can often do. As we were expecting, I think Jiu getting through this lane relatively well, especially given the item disadvantage that he's had for what feels like forever.
Yeah, he's withering the storm for now, so it's gone pretty okay, all things considered, and he is going to get that big mid-game spike, but still, I mean, the Caitlyn has an edge for now, and it can obviously explode quickly if you get some free time on the tower. But for now, I think Nongshim can be okay with how things have panned out.
Yep. First dragon going to be going on over. It is going to be a Cloud next, which makes me a little bit disappointed because there's no Cloud Soul, but at least it's on the map. That makes me happy. Could be Earth, Wind, and Fire as well. As Peanut's going to come on over and spot out Gideon trying to steal away his Raptor camp. And Zaya's continuing to really have some trouble into Kingin. Leandri's almost done.
I love how you can play the anti-mage champion, right? Who has like a free like magic damage shield and just builds early MR, and you're still getting toasted by Rumble.
Well, Hens is not having a great time as Peanut is fighting into 3 people. Does have that Crescent Guard like we were talking about. Final Spark misses onto Lehens somehow.
Oh man,
that was an elevation problem or something like that.
Yeah, high ground, low ground. I think Delight was trying too hard to hit multiple people with it. And
yeah,
if he'd just gone for Lehens, would have hit his mark. It was like, you know what? I can make it happen. I can bend the light like gravity does.
That's really cool.
Unfortunately, he wasn't actually able to do that, but it's his theory.
There's the culling. Viper somehow not hit by that Glacial Prison, just needed a little bit more muscle thrown into it.
Yeah, now Nongshim can just get all 3 of these grubs, so full set. Just contribute a little bit towards those feats, and still no one has died.
Nope.
Which is kind of absurd, it feels.
When was our latest first blood?
15 minutes and 5 seconds.
Ooh, so we're getting close. 3 minutes away.
Which I think even more amazing is that it was Diabol killing Beryl.
Yeah, Beryl really
Beryl takes
not normally take that long to die. Yeah.
Yeah. He's got to pace it up a bit.
He either dies or he gets his AD carry killed way before that. In fact, the earliest one was in fact Gumayushi killing aiming at 1 minute and 34 seconds.
Which, if anyone remembers, that was absolutely Beryl's
fault. 100%. Oh, beautiful times. I'm glad that we can both remember that off the top of our heads, those exact stats. Have to look up when the latest one was, but the earliest one, certainly know that one.
Don't forget a moment like that.
Nope, nope.
Textbook.
As Delight down towards his bottom side, clearing out some vision and see who's going to be able to get the most pressure on these turrets. You can see Zayas is actually pushing in as well, and with Caitlyn positioned in the mid lane, should be pretty safe to try and just clear waves. It might be an opportunity to try and go for the first turret, but instead, we're setting up towards the Dragon Pit. It doesn't have a dragon in it for quite some time. Okay. Yeah, you can see the taunt going to be used, but the damage from Kingin is kind of insane. Another Equalizer comes down. Justice Punch was used. Kingin needed to block that if he wanted to kill Zayas, but not quite able to get in front of it. and so the Gargoyle will be able to walk away, but...
Yeah, he's up in gold. He's built MR. Like, what more do you want him to do?
And still Kingen looked like he was just going to kill him.
Yeah.
Not quite able to do so, but you can see the control of the lane is still kind of there for the Rumble.
I think one of the things is, you know, maybe, I don't know. Maybe if you had something like the Grasp, you had a bit more trading power early, you could have put on more pressure.
Yeah.
Kind of feels like maybe the Aftershock was more like, hey, I'll have this tool for the dive that never came.
But also we'll have it for team fights and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's still valuable there.
But it doesn't feel like it is much of a laning sort of situation. Side lane's going to be a little bit more difficult. As Fisher, so far, deathless like everyone else. So the Corki going just fine.
Yeah.
Just have to see whether it continues to go just fine. As Lehens moves over, looks to try and clear out this control ward. Ebbs and flows, but otherwise things are looking a little bit worrisome. As these Sand Soldier attacks are starting to rack up the damage.
Less than a minute to go.
Oh,
this could be a record-breaking game.
Yep. 14 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock right now. We're looking to beat 15:05.
And the thing is, even if they fight for this Dragon or this Herald, the record will be achieved by then. You know?
Exactly. Because we've got 48 seconds.
That's what they're waiting for.
Only need, what is it, 30 seconds on the dot as of now. So unless Gio just walks up and dies, we're feeling real good.
Splashes in, he's like, I don't want us to beat the record.
No records for you. Well, Gideon over here as well. This is our final evolution, kind of cute. And now Lehens moves up to join his 80 carry. 21 seconds now. And for the main stat, it is 5 seconds away. 2, 3, 4. And there it is.
There we go.
Latest first blood of the season has been achieved, but how much further can we get it? There's the stat. No longer will we have Diablo and Beryl on our sheet in front of us with the cool stats on it, as we might have first blood just being replaced only a few seconds later as Kingen. That's a great flash. As Zeka comes in as well, and may just die to the ramped up turret. It's kind of hilarious. Tidal Wave is going to connect onto Viper here as well. Has to flash the bubble. And there's a lot of action, and we still haven't replaced that first blood.
Were they aware? Like, as soon as the timer passed, everyone starts fighting.
Yeah,
like,
I think that must have been it. They're like, we're going to break this one.
They're like saying in all chat, guys, give it 20 seconds. Just wait 20 seconds. As soon as it passes, like, boom, lock in.
Well, they all locked in and didn't really achieve what they wanted to achieve. That is going to be second Drake going on over, and it's a Hextech Soul. My god, that is a high-powered dragon. As the gold is entirely even. There is absolutely nothing in it.
I love the little bounties just sprinkled in. A little 19 gold here.
Yep.
You'll have 29 extra gold. It's just, as well, when you get a kill, like before it was quite consistent with like rounded numbers. It just feels like you get random numbers of gold.
Oh, Taunt should be connecting here onto Jew. He is going to use his cleanse, and I don't think they're going to be able to get the eye. That's unfortunate. As, all right, Zeka will find the Emperor's Divide onto Kingen. Is it first blood? Wow, that was a Narnian ultimate from Gideon, but it scared them enough to get Kingen out of there.
No one will die.
No one will die. I think everyone's immortal. Oh, imagine if Lehens just popped in like one shot to that.
You know, it's
not
actually
the first blood I was
going to end up that situation where everyone's super farmed and no one's died, and you kind of like don't appreciate the fact of how much damage everyone's doing.
Yeah.
They'll just pop you.
Well, maybe this is how Corki finally wins a game. No one is actually going to die.
This could be it.
All right, we're doing... Okay, let's do a prediction. When do you think first blood is going to be?
Oh, I think... probably like... Oh, we'll watch this replay first.
Yeah.
Current prediction. So the ult just clears the entire wave. Cruxy even goes in for the cannon minion. It's like, get out of here.
Even manages to get Flames bit of value onto Peanut on his way out as well.
I like how we get the pro view point of view when there's no kill. That's how lack of kills this game is. I think maybe like 22-20.
22-20?
That's a long way away, actually.
Yeah, that
is. Actually, I would say like... No, I could...
I'm thinking it's like 9.
Sorry, 20. I'll go 21, 20, 21, 20, 21, 10, 21, 10, 21, 10, 21, 10.
All right, I don't believe quite that hard. I'm going to go 1930.
Okay, that's pretty close.
Yeah. I reckon it's close. I reckon we're something's going to go wrong around an Arakan that's about to spawn.
I get that. I feel like neither team, maybe. I mean, that's perfectly valid. I think he'll be on the dragon, and someone will just die around the dragon.
Oh yeah, I need someone to die in a minute.
I think it's that unconscious thing where when no one has died in the game, you don't want to be the first to die. You know?
Yeah, true.
Feeding.
So now it's everyone's going to play a whole lot more safe.
Then you have infinitely more deaths than everyone else.
Yeah.
So, and infinite is a lot. So.
Infinite does feel like a lot.
Yeah, so everyone's just, they're happy farming away. Put some wards down. Oh, my ward's dead. That's fine. At least I'm not.
Yeah, and the outer turrets in mid lane up and available. You can see Lucian is struggling to hit it, which is a problem, but it should be okay. Okay, well, I need someone to die in 25 seconds. What have I done? Why did I make that call? Peanut, go in! Quickly! Whether it be to die or to kill. I just need you to get in there.
Oh, unless?
All right, King in a bit of trouble. Zeus actually kind of turning this one around.
Oh, yeah, Zeus is a tank.
Yeah, he's also just going to let King have the wave. And that one is going to fall down.
3,
I mean, yeah, 2 seconds to go.
1.
I'm cooked.
Oh, it's over.
All right.
Okay.
I didn't want to do the same.
Well,
but also it felt like it was going to be so far.
You could still be closest, but if it goes after, it's.
Yeah, no, I think I'm just done.
You just cooked.
Yeah.
I mean, Yundo's the latest. Then he might be best.
Well,
then he might be best off.
Let's see. I think we've got a whole bunch of predictions coming on in there. Wolf's was completely cooked a while ago. Me and him are already out of the running.
Degon's got 20 seconds-ish.
All right.
So does Brendan Valdez. They've both got about 20 seconds.
20, 25, and 24. And we're starting to see some grouping up. HLE are not going to go for anything, though, without a Galio within heroic entrance range.
Oh my god, he autoed him.
Yeah, there we go.
Celestially opposed it, though. He's celestially opposed to violence.
He is. In fact, everyone in this game is. There's a lot of...
okay, Brendan's out, Degon's out. Mao is 21 minutes, he's next up.
All right.
What if
maybe we're all just incredibly wrong.
Someone in chat will have said like 43 minutes and they'll be spot on.
Arakan is just going down.
This could be it!
Oh no! Viper and Delight both just cooked together, and there it is! First blood at 2050! And it's Kingin that takes down Delight. Zeka now looking to try and stop them from taking this Arakan down. As Peanut going to be pushed away. Wind becomes lightning coming on in there. Fisher down relatively low. They get rid of the Azir. But Zeus comes in. That is going to keep Peanut alive. Viper fighting against King, and there are a lot of traps all over the ground. And Nongshim, they give up on the Arakan. They get themselves first blood. They get the feats. The sandals have been put together.
You know what's the worst part? Well, I wouldn't have minded, but it's Mao who won, and Chronic, he's always so...
Yeah, he really does like to...
He's like, oh, I was correct.
Yeah.
He'll have a smug smile on his face right now, and he will.
Why did you remind me? I can see it in my mind's eye.
So can I. Oh. He's just that guy, you know.
Oh, well. So frustrating.
What can we do? Oh, so close, so close. If Delight had lasted a little bit longer, and now Delight has infinitely more deaths than anyone else.
I know, it's embarrassing, isn't it? But at least, he's support Lux. He can have that excuse of like, well, I'm so squishy. It's so hard to do my job and not die all the time.
Yeah, as opposed to support an army who's notoriously very tanky.
And if your lands, just in general, who does spend most of his time dying. Zeus is just going to walk at Fisher here. It's looking super effective. As now we've got another fight, as Peanut getting absolutely slaughtered. Gets himself a decent shield though, and in fact his ultimate's going to be coming up very, very soon. King in, getting low as Viper grabs it with a Peacemaker. That was adorable. Peanut going to get spotted out here as Viper's going to need to flash over. He does so. Light Binding not going to connect as now Gio way too far up, but there's the knock up from Peanut. That is going to spell his death as now the flash in. The two-man taunt and Zeka scoops them all up. HLE, I mean, they may not have got first blood, but they killed the rest of them.
When it rains, it pours. When we get some kills coming in, HLE clean up, and we'll get that third Dragon of a Hextech Soul, which is pretty rough. for Nongshim. They may have been the ones to get first blood and the feats of strength, but a huge blow dealt to them.
But they don't have strength of feet, which is what you need in order to walk into the right position.
And they're far away from their souls being secured. Anyway, yeah, Viper just hitting King on the wall, and he gets hit by the Lux ult because he was channeling his ult. Unfortunately.
And yeah, Viper with the Peacemaker out of nowhere.
Jiwoo, so close, but so far, and just the no attack speed, which is, I mean, it's regular on Lucian, but you can see him trying to get the autos up there.
Yeah.
Doesn't do enough. And this shuffle, pretty big.
Gorgeous. And we're seeing there the combination of the Galio and the Azir. When Galio was a mid laner, it felt like it was a bit sad because the combination is so fun. If you do get the taunt, then the shuffle becomes so easy, right? You just scoot on in and knock them all back. And we saw exactly that in motion there. And now all of a sudden it's a 3,000 gold lead. It's Soul Point. Yeah, they don't have feet, but who cares? You don't need feet to kill dragons.
Certainly don't.
Or do you? It does help, I think.
I mean, Cassiopeia is fine at killing dragons.
Oh, yeah. Is that in the lore?
Not that I'm aware of. But
maybe
I've seen it in game. She does have a lot of DPS against dragon, right?
Yeah, that's true. And Aurelion Soul.
Yeah.
King going to be able to clear out the wave.
Feet. I mean, Nami, but she's on Nongshim's side, so.
Yeah, not working out quite as much. Yeah, footless champions don't have exactly, like, I don't have that database in my brain.
Yeah, well, I know it's definitely not Briar. That was established early on.
Yeah, no, that one's definitely, definitely feet.
Very clearly,
feet are there.
Yeah.
Gideon has 6 feet, in fact, if you include Bristle, which I do. Absolutely.
I mean,
and Lehens is now just in trouble, although Viper is now potentially in trouble. Zeus showing off with the amount that he can tank the culling, which is a lot.
I think you have to include Bristle because it'd be very weird if Sejuani was just walking around on her.
All right, Lehens. Okay, isn't the hole not going to connect? Well, actually it does connect. Not going to kill. Zeka moving on up. You can tell that we're getting a little bit loopy. It's been a weird game, right? We had a 20-minute first blood, which is quite late, and we're used to having a cadence of action that's a little bit higher than that. As you can see here in the goal difference, I mean, it was nothing, nothing, nothing until that last fight towards the bottom side, which is, I imagine, the first highlight we're going to see from the space.
Probably.
Because nothing else happened prior to that. As Lehens, he could die, but there is Gideon in the vicinity, and Zeka needs to go golden. Are enough traps going to be going down here as Emperor's Divide delivers a pig towards Delight and Viper. That equalizer actually isn't the greatest. And Nongshim were able to walk this one off.
You know, I joked before about Nami being tanky, but legitimately, like, Lehens keeps just brushing off this damage and landing everything he needs to survive. Now, Fisher...
Oh, dear. I thought Arakan was going to get mad. Oh, uses the Arakan to provide an audacious charge target. It's not really working out there.
Oh, you know, it's such a new objective. Is this the Ruinous or the Voracious Arakan? How can we tell? You know,
I don't know.
It's so difficult to know.
I imagine it's probably Ruinous because there was so much action.
There was so much action in this game. It probably is the Ruinous one, the one when you have a lot of action. Zeka, it's one of these one-way trips.
Yeah.
Didn't really have an exit plan.
No, that was not the one. As I think that Fisher is in a tough spot. Yeah, Justice Punch going to come in. Fisher thinks that it's not well named. That did not feel like justice. As Arakan is continuing to be somewhat ignored. As King and Over here does have 5 grubs worth of extra damage on these turrets, which is providing a little bit of an issue. Delight immediately flashing out, and I don't even know whether that's going to be enough. Saved by the Popcorn Chickens. You love to see it.
Perfect respawn timing. Planned. Delight had that in mind.
Absolutely.
He knew.
And all right, Nongshim now with control of the river towards this northern side of the map.
It feels like the Lucian army pressure really online now. Like you have the rapid fire kind of, the extra range, the IE. Not to the Galio, but everyone else.
Yeah.
Lucian is doing damage, so...
After seeing him do so much damage before, that really was a bit of a letdown.
Well, if you look at Zeus' items, you can see all the armor. Oh, no, he doesn't have any armor.
Right.
Suspicious. Interesting.
Very strange.
Yeah.
This Arakan is... Okay, Peanut coming on in. Let's see whether he can cause some sort of ruckus as Gideon already going down low. Zeka splits up the fight, but there's a lot of damage from Fisher here. The tidal wave helping out really well. But Gideon goes down first. And now the heroic exit there from Zeus. But they're all on the barbecue. and they just back away as Otacon is left to the wolves, or they're going for like a re-engage. I have no idea, but they're sort of still here and sort of not. Zayas has teleport, and so he can make his way back if they would like him to be there. And now they're just going to get gifted Otacon. No, he's going to reset. This is so weird. That was so strange. I have no idea what just happened there, but it was, I think, okay for HLE. Kingen moving in, doesn't have equalizer for the next little while.
Zeka's coming back and hex-gated.
Yeah.
He's hex-gating again.
Oh, he's getting on in there. There's the taunt. It's going to connect onto Kingen, but he is able to cook them. Takes down the smite. That is absolutely huge as now Zeka gets out of the way of the culling, but it's not enough to save the gargoyle. And I'm still confused. This Otacon has just been running amok.
Wait, we're hex-gating more. We're back in.
And now their jungler is going to come back over. Gideon will turn up again. And I think the Nongshim just get it. Right? Yeah.
They should just get it, yeah.
God, so weird, man.
This is
I don't know.
Such an odd... We had Bro 2-0 Gen G earlier, and this game feels more odd.
Yeah, right? That's because Bro are the best team in Korea. We knew that from the Casper Cup.
Yeah, I mean, they are the Casper Cup champions. Yeah. The last time Gen G won, something was all the way back in MSI. Yeah, so a lot of focus on the Gideon to get rid of the smite. And I mean, it is successful in the end, but a lot is burned.
And I guess that's why they didn't want to go back in for it. But like, if you get rid of everyone, then it's okay. They just don't want to face check.
Yeah, and they're waiting for Zeka to come in, but you see Zayas goes in a little early. Peanut follows, and they get melted.
Gio actually doing so much damage, yeah.
Yeah, I think both of them. And then King is able to escape. Zeka has no cooldowns really to chase them down. And the Otacon just kept resetting.
Yeah, all over the place. Now Nongshim heading towards the Baron because they may as well. Peanut, if he can steal it away, certainly still incredibly valuable. As Hextech Soul was, I believe, secured by HLE in the meantime as well. So that is going to be a whole lot of power, especially with the Caitlyn. My goodness. As Jiwoo leading the charge. Yeah, what? I don't think they can't technically die, but Viper won't need that many shots. In order to do it. So annoying. Yeah, Bazinga. All right, in goes Peanut. It's a gargoyle delivery system as they knock up Kingen and evict him from the area. Emperor's Divide connects onto a couple. Everyone is sent packing. And yeah, you may not necessarily die, but you give over 400 gold in a Baron. Probably not worth.
Yeah, we were stuck in the replay, and it's kind of like, okay, you got Otacon, but they got Hextech Soul. Yeah, it just wasn't worth it, you know?
No.
And they're just permanently getting AoE slowed, chunked, poked out, you know. And yes, these deaths aren't as important as if you didn't have the Otacon buff.
I mean, it serves the same purpose though, doesn't it?
Yeah, you lose Baron, and HLE still have Hextech Soul, which they'll have for the rest of the game.
Yeah. And Viper is heading towards, I believe, Bloodthirster is item number 4. And item number 4 is where Caitlyn becomes a big old champion again. You're very, very happy with the state of the game, and he's 2-0-3, so he's already dealing a lot of damage. Oh man, Zeka going to be able to move towards his top side, utilize these Barons, and yeah, these ace in the holes starting to hurt. Still has another point to put in that one, I believe. As Jiwoo, oh yeah, he still has the buff, so he may as well take a ticket home.
I mean,
yeah. I don't know.
It's that conversation we had last game, like, yes, it's not a big deal if you die, but you don't have to just dash in and just... I mean, it
is faster than pressing B.
Yeah, at the cost of 100 gold and a whole flower.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you always forget about the blood petals. Maybe Viper's going to hit rank 3 ultimate, you know, like earlier because of that. It was all the blood petals.
Yeah.
That's all right. HLE. Okay, Tidal Wave going to come in there. The cleanse going to be used from Viper as a whole bunch of buttons are now on cooldown. But I think that Nongshim used a few more. Yeah, 4 of them now on CD, and Fisher is doing his best to put his on CD as much as possible. As HLE are just going to continue marching forward because their health bars have not been changed. Because now, connected to every attack, they now have basically an ultimate ability that slows down everyone in an AoE. It's just nutty. This Hextech Soul is no joke. And Nongshim, they are good at clearing waves. They will be able to do that as the push does come in. It does come to a close. But HLE have now got a 5,000 gold lead. It's a 3.3k Rebel Baron power play. And I'd say the Barons work.
It's so hard to approach. The second you walk up, you get autoed by a rapid fire Caitlyn, and your whole team is slowed.
Yeah. Or the turret just explodes.
That works too.
My goodness. Okay, yeah. Caitlyn doing some damage as Viper is going to be able to finish off the inhibitor. It's a bit of a fake out. Zekka is just going to take the enemy Hex Gates in order to get out of here. So 2 minutes on the Elder Dragon. And I think that's where we're going to see the next commitment to a battle. And one that Nongshim sort of has to do, but they're in a really rough spot. They actually want to win it. And having a look down at the red numbers are not telling a good story for Nongshim fans.
No, it's pretty rough. I mean, honestly, like, the gold's bad, but it's just, you know, I keep hammering on about it, but, like, it's just such a weird passage of play that you're like, guys, got the Atacam buff. Oh, we lost Hex ult. And then Atacam buff gets used, and they just have this buff forever, and it just feels almost impossible. Like, the game felt, you know, it was back and forth, it was close. Yeah. And now it just feels really rough. And, I mean, the Corki... Corki is yet to do anything. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah.
Yet to do a single thing. And
in the LCK Cup.
He is staring down 0-11. It is approaching.
Yeah. Well,
oh, there he goes.
He's going to press his ultimate button. Fisher is desperately trying to get himself a kill as the equalizer comes through. There's a heroic exit that is going to be interrupted. And HLE get themselves out of there.
You know, he nearly... He did get Peanut below half health.
He did.
Nearly got Zeus below half health.
And he made it so that Peanut had to move from where he was going to be otherwise.
True. Oh, they make it mid-tier 1.
Oh, in trade for an inhibitor top lane.
They gave up on it. They don't want it anymore.
Okay. Then maybe they don't actually have to give away their inhibitor top lane. It's Delight also taking way too much damage here. Fisher has come through to do an auto attack. That was cool. Teleport is going to bring Zeus into the fold, though. And him, as far as the front line is concerned, is looking pretty dangerous. His final spark's not doing as much damage as we can sometimes see from Lux, but she is very supportive with the redemption completed as well as the Mikhails.
Now King has to deal with this wave, and Elder Dragon is about to spawn. They'll be able to head back, and thanks to the hard work.
Oh, but they're going to be late.
Look at the Hex Gate.
Hex Gates.
Thank you, Jace.
Hex Gates. Man,
law
learned about those in Arcane.
I mean, it's law accurate because Caitlyn is using them.
True. There we go.
But they are walking in the fog of war.
Yeah. Well, Gio and Fisher going to walk out and take a bit of health from Zeus. All right, Blast Cone is going to get Fisher over the wall. No one has started off this dragon, so HLE will be able to actually get here. It's going to be an honest fight, as that didn't look honest at all. It looked like Zekka just killing Fisher without him being able to do anything in response. A little bit.
Really low.
Yeah,
trying to reset, but it's just there. Fisher?
Okay. Zekka's going to be able to make his way through. Final Spark just to get some vision. As now Zekka and Zeus are going to turn up together. This angle is terrifying. Lucency. What the heck was that damage? That's, I guess, Viper with 4 items. Did finish that Bloodthirst that we were talking about before. The line of traps comes in as Peanut gets out of there. Does soak the ultimate as the tidal wave is going to stop Delight from walking further forward. But they're using all of these buttons defensively. They're going to not have them for when the fight starts in earnest. Fisher teleports back. It's your time, Corki. It's time to find a win. This is where we do all the damage. This is where we steal the Elder. This is where maybe you just lose as they're teleporting into the base.
Oh, the base,
to end the game.
King needs to go. He's the one with TP.
Well, Nexus turret 1 is dead. Nexus turret number 2 is dead. Fisher is almost dead. Lance is, in fact, dead. There's a knock-up onto Gideon as they're just diving forward. They're going to win the team fight and the game at the same time as it's a double to come down for Viper. And Fisher is likely to not die. Wait, he's dead. I said likely to not die. I meant the other way around. As Zekka is wanting to kill Kingen, his ex-teammate, before actually killing the Nexus. I think he ran out of minion wave there as well. But he's just going to follow him. And Sukni is going to help out. And thumbs up occurring all over the place. Oh, the scrap shield!
He's scrappy.
And the minions, they get it done in the end as well as Leandri's. And so that is going to be Zekka going gold and didn't time it quite right as HLE are delaying as best they can. And that is going to be the 2-0 successful there. The latest first blood that we've ever had, plus, well, not that we've ever had, but that we've had so far in 2025. And it is above 20 minutes. It's going to take a while for us to get a new one of those.
When I saw that damage on the hens, I was thinking it was like that thing I said where like not much action happens, everyone just farms up, and then you hit a late game fight and suddenly you get one shot out of nowhere.
Yeah, that did happen.
That did happen. That's a Caitlyn thing too. And look, I'm gonna be blunt with it. HLE, definitely some things to work on. Considering the strength of this roster and the fact that they are the reigning summer champions, I think there is still a higher expectation. But at the end of the day,